Hello everyone and welcome back to our Excel Visual Basic course. In this lecture we are going to learn how to build another type of loop, and that is known as the do-while loop. The structure for a do-while loop is different from the structure for a for loop. So let's take a look. We're going to assign a macro in order to develop the loop here. Alright, so the loop is still going to do the same task, which is to automate some lines of code. But the setup is going to be different. We will still need a variable called index as an integer, and we have to initialize index immediately to some value like 1. This index, that's going to represent the row that we want to print on. So we could even call this row. Again, you can call this variable anything you want as long as you understand the functionality of it, which is to iterate through a certain value. Now, in order to open up a do-while loop, we use the keywords do-while. And in the header of the loop, we have to create some kind of condition, such as while the row is less than 10. Just as long as this condition is true, the loop is going to keep performing its task over and over again. To close the loop, you just use the keyword loop, because the iteration has to happen inside of the loop's body. At the end of every iteration of the loop, you have to go ahead and increment your condition. For example, you can set the row to equal row plus 2. This means that we're going to go for every second row. If we don't increment the condition, then the row is always going to be 1, which means the loop would never end. The loop would be infinite. And this would be horrible because that would be a crash. The loop would never end. It would use too much processing power, and the program would never continue. The program would never end. Therefore, the procedure would never end, and the program would crash. So we always have to ensure that we increment our condition to ensure that our condition is going to reach a state of being false at some point. Other than this, we can also add some task that we want to automate, such as, for example, suppose we want to place into every row inside of the first column, we want to place some value, like we can place, for example, hello. This means that for every row in the first column, while the row is less than 10, we're going to display hello. But at every iteration of this loop, at every time we place a hello, we're going to increment the row by a factor or by a value of 2. Which means that we're not going to place this value into each row, but rather into every second row. And once the loop runs one time, it's going to go back to its header and check that the condition is still true. If the condition is still true, the loop will run a second time. And then the loop will check again, is my condition still true? The condition is going to reach a state of false when the row has been incremented up to being a value of 10. At that point, the loop will check its condition and it will get a state of false. The condition will evaluate to false. Therefore, the loop's body is going to not execute that time, but instead the loop is going to break. And we'll continue on to any code that we have underneath the loop. Let's go ahead and test out our result. We'll close the editor and we are going to click on our button. And look at this. We now have being printed out. We have the value hello at row 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 in the column A. That's because once we reached our row value of being 10, we exited the loop. We did not perform any task once we reached row 10. That is how you can use the do-while loop. You'll notice some differences from the for next loop, being that we must specify this condition and we must increment the value that is being checked, the value of the condition. The value of the condition must change in order for us to eventually reach a false evaluation. Congratulations on learning about loops in this entire section. In the next lecture, we're actually going to begin a brand new section. We're going to learn how to build projects using loops. So we're going to take the fundamental knowledge that we have gained in this section and we're going to apply it to larger projects in the next section, more practical projects of day-to-day uses that you will see for programming with loops. Head on over to the next section.